When the Zorathian raiders came, they didn't just steal. They crushed. They took lives without remorse and left nothing behind but pain. And one day, they took everything from Nathaniel Drake, his wife, his home, and most painfully of all, his daughter, Emily. Nathaniel was a man of few words, the type to work hard and keep his head down. But beneath his quiet exterior, a fire burned, one that had been kindled by the loss of his family. The government had promised to send fleets to bring Emily back, but the war with the Zorathians was endless, and they were stretched too thin. Nathaniel knew it would take too long. He couldn't wait any longer. So he took matters into his own hands. He set out alone in his modified scout ship, determined to track down the Zorathian base and rescue Emily. He knew where they were, far beyond the reaches of most civilized space, on a desolate planet that the Zorathians used as a black site for their most secretive operations. The planet, known only as Korath 7, was a forgotten relic of a bygone age. Most scanners couldn't detect it, buried under layers of dust and debris. It wasn't listed on any star maps, and its atmosphere was toxic to most life forms. The perfect place for criminals to operate undisturbed. Nathaniel landed on the planet's barren surface, his shit's hole groaning as it settled into the cracked earth. He had no idea what to expect, just a promise of danger. But Nathaniel had trained his whole life for moments like this. His instincts and sheer will were his weapons. He had been walking for hours when he found it, an entrance buried beneath the rubble of an ancient temple. It was an odd thing, completely out of place in this forsaken world. The stone pillars, engraved with markings that no one alive could understand, led down into a dark, open cavern. Something told Nathaniel that he wasn't just about to stumble into a Zorathian trap. There was something much older, much more powerful, beneath the surface. Ignoring the voice of caution, he descended into the cavern, his boots echoing against the cold, smooth stone. As he ventured deeper, the air grew heavier, and an electric hum filled the silence. It wasn't until he reached the heart of the cavern that he found it, a suit of armor, unlike anything he had ever seen. It was made of a material that shimmered in the dim light, a perfect blend of organic and metallic components. It seemed alive, pulsing with an energy that resonated with Nathaniel's very being. A faint blue light traced the edges of the armor, as if inviting him to try it on. Instinctively, Nathaniel knew he had to wear it. The suit wasn't just an artifact, it was a weapon. An ancient, forgotten weapon. With a series of clicks and whirs, the armor sealed around him, forming a perfect fit as if it had been made for him. The moment it did, an explosion of energy surged through his body. Strength coursed through his veins. His mind sharpened, his senses heightened. The armor, as it seemed to recognize its new wearer, bonded with him on a primal level. Nathaniel grinned, feeling the raw power coursing through him. This was no ordinary relic. This was something far beyond anything the Zorathians had encountered. He wasn't just a human anymore. He was something more. He activated the suit's systems, and a holographic interface appeared in his vision. It displayed data streams, maps, and even a local radar that pinpointed the Zorathian base's location. The armor had a connection to the planet's forgotten network, a system that once powered entire civilizations. With this newfound knowledge, Nathaniel knew exactly where to go. He stormed through the cavern, his footsteps silent, yet thunderous in their power. The armor wasn't just for show. It was an extension of his body, amplifying his strength, speed, and durability to levels far beyond human capabilities. His heart raced with adrenaline, but his mind was calm, focused. He could already taste the sweet revenge that awaited him. It didn't take long for Nathaniel to find the Zorathian base. Hidden beneath a crumbling mountain range, it was heavily fortified, with automated turrets and a fleet of guards patrolling the perimeter. Nathaniel didn't hesitate. With the speed of a predator, he moved, his armor cloaking him in shadows as he approached the base. The Zorathians never saw him coming. The first guard didn't even have time to react before he was incapacitated. Nathaniel's strength had tripled since he donned the ancient suit, and the armor's energy-enhanced abilities allowed him to move faster than the eye could track. One by one, the Zorathians fell. He moved like a shadow, striking with brutal precision, leaving nothing but broken bodies in his wake. When Nathaniel finally reached the heart of the base, where they were holding Emily, he felt a rush of emotions. There she was, locked in a cage, but alive. Her eyes widened when she saw him, the shock of seeing her father, and the sheer force of his transformation, filling her with disbelief. "Dad?" Emily whispered, her voice cracking. "How? How did you?" He didn't answer her with words. He simply reached through the bars, his hand glowing with energy as he deactivated the force field. The cage opened with a soft hiss, and Emily stumbled into his arms. "I told you I'd come for you," Nathaniel whispered, holding her tightly. But his words weren't just for her. They were for himself, too. For the man who had been broken and rebuilt. For the man who had found a power within him that was beyond anything he could have imagined. The battle was far from over. The Zorathians would come for him, and they would come in full force. But Nathaniel had already unlocked the true potential of humanity. With the armor at his side, he knew no enemy, no force, no weapon could stand in his way. He would fight for his daughter, for his family, and for every person who had ever been forgotten by the universe, because this was what it meant to be human. And nothing could stop him. The end.